A very good evening and welcome to our third Happy School show. It's Monday, the 31st of August today. And yes, we are back talking all things Happy School. So it's very, very nice that you would take the time out of your day to join us right here live on Twitter across Action Jackson and the Fix Up Team's Twitter programs. Now, we are, of course, talking about Happy Schools and the book Happy School 365, and we can't continue to talk about it without the author himself. So please welcome to the Happy School show. It is Action Jackson. Good evening, sir.
Good. How are you doing, David, and everybody around the world?
Very, very good. Now, it's so good to get back to talking about this Happy School program, indeed the Happy School book. One of the quotes that you said last week was, "A happy school starts with a happy teacher." And that is essentially who we are aiming this Happy School show at. We want to talk directly to the teacher. So what have been the biggest feedbacks that you've got so far from just the Happy School show?
Can you hear me? Hello?
I can hear you. Yeah. You went away for a second there, but you're back.
Yeah, hit me the question again.
So last week, we talked about a happy school starts with a happy teacher. And that's exactly who we're aiming this particular show at, to try and motivate the teachers and understand that they too have the ability to create a happy school. So what has been the feedback so far from already only just 2 episodes of the Happy School show?
Do you know what? I think the so grateful for the opportunity to be able to make this happen. And what's been happening over the years is a combination of ideas brought together. So it's been a positive one. There's been a few giveaways. People have been winning the books as well. And it is just a perfect book for your backpack as you go into the new term. So yeah, it's what we're talking about.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a second just to sort out that connection whilst I tell everybody how exactly they can get involved with the Happy School show. So right here on screen, you have got a live link. That link is happyschool365.co.uk. What you need to do is you need to visit that link. When you visit that link, you will be given an opportunity to join a virtual live book launch, which will be happening later on this month. The Happy School 365 book, written by Action Jackson himself, will be released, and you can order it now for pre-release on that website. You can also make sure that you check out the 21 videos to motivate your learner. These are individual videos directed at you, the teacher, in order to help you motivate your learner. Once you're on there, you will register yourself in order to make sure that you are reserved a place to receive those videos direct into your inbox when they are released. And they are going to start coming into your inbox thick and fast very, very early in this next month coming, because it is September. So a lot of you have gone back to school today, towards the end of last week. And it's really important that we hear from you and all of the challenges that you face when you are trying to create this happy school that you are hopefully going to absolutely kill this year. Because this year, if Annie needs a happy school more than ever. In fact, last week, Action Jackson even said, put the curriculum to the side and start with the mission to create happy students in your classrooms. And that is possible. Take the learnings that you have, take the signs off the wall and put them into action. One of our biggest learnings from last week was, of course, that a happy school starts with a happy teacher. And Jackson talked about his extensive career in going into schools and helping students become motivated, and indeed helping teachers believe that they do have the power to influence all of these students in their classroom. Now, today we are going to be continuing with some sections of the book, and to just go over one of the things that we talked about last week was the manifesto, starting with the head, the heart, and the hand. So it's from the head, it comes from the heart, and then you deliver it with the hand. We talked about the Happy Kids tips broken down into time, innovation, patience, and support. That is exactly how you could execute creating all of those happy kids in your classroom. Time is T, innovation is I. Patience, of course, we can't do anything without a little bit of patience. We talked about the Chinese farmer who was growing that bamboo and how 5 years goes past, and only in the 5th year does that bamboo begin to shoot up. So it is important that you have patience with what it is that you are trying to create, and then you can move on to then begin to support the learner from the top of that classroom. Now, I think we have Jackson back. That's what we've been talking about last week. Let's bring Jackson in now, and we'll talk about what the Happy School Show has got in store today live on Twitter. Let's bring Jackson back. Hello, sir.
We're back. The internet, I think because everyone's on a bank holiday, everybody's on their Netflix and they're watching everything. So everything is crazy. But yeah, we're back in action.
Good. Action Jackson. Okay, so let's jump straight into this week. We want to talk about the 4 barriers, because last week we talked about how it's possible, and we believe it is possible, but there are naturally going to be teachers up and down the country, across Ireland, the UK, and globally, wondering what barriers, and they probably already know the barriers that they're going to come up against. So let's talk about, you've broken it down into 4 barriers that they're going to face, and one of them, or let's just talk about barriers in general.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's funny. In the book, I talk about 4 barriers to creating a happy school. And it's quite sad. Even whatever you're doing in life, there's always going to be barriers. And I believe there are 2 types of barriers. There's the internal barrier, and then there's the external barriers. Okay, the internal barriers are the things, our thoughts, our mind, and there are barriers that are in front of us. And for me, barriers, you need to shatter the barriers before you can actually go anywhere. Otherwise, you're not going to make the impact you really want to make. However great your desire is, if you don't break down the barriers, forget it. So there are 4 different barriers. And the first barrier to creating a happy school is the barrier of old ideas. Old ideas are a barrier to a happy school, because what old ideas do is they hold you back. This is how we've been doing it. This is how it's always been. And you find that the people that hold those old ideas are the people who have been in the school for a long time, and they don't want to innovate with the times, especially the times we're in. I'm sorry, old ideas are not going to be working anymore. We're going to need some new ideas, and the new ideas are going to come thick and fast. But if you don't get rid of the old idea or put the old ideas to the side, there's no way you're going to grab hold to the new opportunity. So you need to let go of the old ideas to grab hold to the new opportunities.
And one of the things that you said last week was, what got you here will not get you there. And that really stuck with me all through the weekend. I really kept playing that over and over in my head, just thinking, you know what got you here? Well, and how do you even begin to understand and detach yourself from the things that got you here in order to welcome in new ways of learning to get you to the new place that you want to be?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, here's the thing, we're thinking, the way things were, let's forget the way things were. We're going to go into a freshness, a newness into the future. And if you hold on to the old ideas, they're going to affect you. So we have to be willing to be uncertain. Uncertainty it creates uncertainty, but sometimes you have to embrace the uncertainty in order to find a new and greener pasture in education.
It's kind of almost like as soon as you become comfortable in the comfort zone, you then need to challenge yourself, or else somebody else will.
Yeah, exactly. And the beautiful thing about our kids is that they're ready for new ideas. The world they come from, gaming, social media, movies, fashion, they're seeing new things every day. So they're ready for the new ideas. It's we as adults that we need to shift our paradigms. We need to move from fixed mindset to growth mindset to embrace the new in order to be able to move forward. So please, if you're watching right now, put aside some of the old ideas and be open to the new ideas, because the new idea might bring you something new that you've always wanted anyway.
Yeah, I was talking to everyone on my social media today, and I said, like, this time right now that we've got, the first day of the month, the last day of the first day of the week, the last day of the month, it's a really great time to kind of just look at what you've done in the past month or indeed the year to now, and think of it almost like, what am I going to stop doing? What am I going to start doing? And what am I going to keep with me? What am I going to continue doing on into the rest of the year? Because we're into like the last quarter of the year. Like there's still 4 months left to make a difference. And indeed, we're only starting a brand new school year. So there's so much more opportunity to create new ways of doing things.
Of course, definitely. So it's the time is still there. There are many people complaining. Let's stop the complaining. Let's look at the barriers, remove the barriers so that we can create happy teachers, happy students, happy parents, happy leaders, happy school, happy society. It's an attainable goal. It's possible, and we can make it happen.
Absolutely. Another barrier that we talked about is cognitive bias. Now, this might confuse people a little bit, but cognitive biases, explain it briefly for us.
So, American psychologist Charlie Munger spoke about the fact that sometimes when you like someone and the person is presenting an idea to you, because you like them, you might not see the flaws in those ideas. And the opposite is true, that if you don't like someone and they're presenting you a good idea, you won't even see the goodness in that idea. So there are many cognitive biases that might hold us back from moving forward. So we need to assess what our cognitive biases are. Because once you recognize your cognitive biases, it allows you to create a greater level of harmony with the people that you work with, because we can't move forward together unless we are in harmony. And even I myself, I had to look at my cognitive biases and I started to challenge my own assumptions. Because if you don't challenge your own assumptions, you're not going to grow, because growth is all about challenging ourselves. So, and there's so many things online about cognitive biases. If you're a new teacher coming to the industry, please go and check out what your cognitive biases are, because it could stop you from moving forward. Say, for instance, if a young teacher is teaching a group of older teacher, there might be a bias towards that young person saying, oh, what does he know, or what does she know? She hasn't even been here that long. Well, maybe the fact that she hasn't been here that long is actually a gift to the school. And maybe the fact that you've been there for too long might be a hindrance to the school. So you've got to really be open to be able to receive what people have to say. So first thing I'll say is go and identify what are the biases that you have. Sometimes we have an idea bias. There's actually an idea bias. So once you go through, there's about 25 biases you can find online. I mention it in the book. And it's a key thing, because we've got blinkers on, but we need to remove the blinkers in order for us to create a happy school. 4 barriers to creating a happy school. Second is cognitive bias. Let's get rid of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a little formula in that as well, which is E plus R equals 0.
Yes. I love that. So that's E is event plus the R, which is your response, which will determine the O, which is your outcome. Your response is key to the progress and the outcome of any team, any school, in any place on the planet. So can you control your response? You can control your response. You can choose how you respond. By getting to know you a bit more, you begin to control your response to situations. So E plus R equals O. That formula will help you.
I like that word response, because we spend a lot of our time reacting to the external things in life rather than responding to the facts. We react to it. We react to emotion. We respond to fact. That's why they're called emergency responders. Okay. Third one on the list is workload. Now, everybody feels this sometimes as a huge barrier.
Yeah. I mean, I think for years now, teachers have been complaining about their workload, and, it's ever increasing. And that's why we have to really, really be open to talk to others who have handled the workload. What did they do? Be open to ask questions. The first thing I'll say to teachers watching this, number one, the workload is there. Please don't moan about it. Because when you moan about the workload, you actually burn more energy, So we're not denying the workload. We're saying, yes, the workload is there. It is a lot. Okay, can I find someone who's tackled the workload, and can I receive some level of, advice from them? But if you moan about the workload, you drain more of your creative and intellectual energy. So for me, I'm running like a couple of businesses, and there's lots of workload, but I'm not going to complain. I'll seek mentorship. I'll seek support in order to help me reduce the workload. So I was talking to my team this morning and I said, in terms of workload, there are different D's: delegate, do, defer, or delete. Delegate, do, defer, delete. So if you can delegate some of the workload, that would be great. If the opportunity is there. There are things you need to do, get them done out the way. And there are things you might need to defer. If you can defer some things on your workload, it will bring you more energy to do. Now, if you can defer and delegate, it gives you more energy to do things that matter. So you got to look for those. And there are things in your workload that you just need to delete, as in forget that. So you got to know which categories those your workload falls into.
Yeah, we had a conversation last week about you could spend way too much of your energy becoming really negative about something that you're actually not capable of doing, which is wasting the energy that you could be spending on the things that you really do love doing. So it actually takes a lot of courage to ask somebody to do something for you because you can't do it. But it's so much more effective than spending more time stressing about something that you're not passionate about.
Exactly. So you got to be able to reach out and ask for help. Two heads are better than one. So let's let go of the ego and let's reach out for help. Don't manage the workload by yourself. Don't manage the workload by yourself. Don't think you can conquer it by yourself.
There's a part in your book in Happy School 365, which I absolutely love. And it talks about how if you got onto a plane and a pilot turned around and said, "I'm too tired today, so this is going to be tough," how much you would not trust that pilot himself to take you to your destination. And there's a quote that you've segregated out, which is like, "No one wants a tired pilot," and that makes so much sense. Everyone wants somebody to be leading them with all of the energy and the positivity, rather than spending that time just being tired.
Yeah. So, and that's what we don't understand. I think we need to nurture teachers more, because teachers have a great deal to deal with in their profession, and no one wants to fly with a tired pilot. No mother wants to send their children, or no father or no parent or guardian wants to send their child to a school that's filled with tired teachers who are frustrated and burnt out. So key thing is, look after yourself, please. Look after yourself. And here's the truth, okay? Here is the truth. And I think I did a post one time about the fact that, when you die, you can be replaced. To your job, you're irreplaceable, but to your family, you're not. So as you're going into this heavy workload of a term, look after number one, because when you look after yourself, you be at your best. But you're number one. You can always get a new job tomorrow morning if you wanted to. Okay. Yeah. But another life? That's another question.
No, I like that. And while we're on the subject of that, it is really important that we give you the message that there are 21 videos on happyschool365.co.uk for you to download and help you motivate your learner. These are really cool videos that have been done by Jackson himself. And all you need to do is visit the website, happyschool365.co.uk. There's so much information there, including a way to make sure that when these videos are released this month, that you get them sent directly to you and you don't miss a minute. We are starting a brand new school year. So why not start it with new ideas on how to motivate your learner and kick that old idea barrier out the window. So we've talked about old ideas. We've talked about our cognitive bias, of which there are 25, which you can check out online to see which one you have and the one that you can beat. And then we've talked about workload. Last in our barriers and overcoming barriers is knowledge.
Yeah, you know what? Things are happening so quickly and we need to keep up with what's happening. And lack of knowledge, ignorance can actually be a stumbling block. That's why it's so essential for educators to know what's actually happening in later psychology, personality tests, what kind of personality of the kids you have in your care, and it's so important for. We've just spoke about workload, but there is one work you need to do, which is to upskill yourself in terms of the understanding of a human being. Now, knowledge can actually be a barrier If I don't know something, I don't know how to apply myself to it. So staying at the cutting edge of information of how the human mind works, how the human emotion works, can help you speed up how far you get to a happy school state. Don't think what you knew is going to be okay. You need something new. So lack of knowledge can sometimes be the key. I haven't got the knowledge. We need to get the knowledge. That's why we write books and support you with the books. The workload is huge. That's why I've kept the videos very, very short, 10 minutes a day. You can watch them and you can get some fresh ideas that you don't have to think about. We do the job for you. All you do is press play, log on, press play, and lead. That's it.
Yeah, there's a great quote under the section where you talk about knowledge, and it's our kids are evolving by the minute, and so are their problems. That really struck me when I was reading the book.
Yeah. Even they don't understand the issues that they're going through. The kids don't know. They don't know. And tomorrow morning there'll be another issue, because what's happening is there's going to be a residual impact of this whole journey that we've been through. We haven't seen the best and worst of this pandemic yet, because the kids are going to come back into a new environment and a new season. And a new season will present a new challenge, and a new challenge will present a new reaction. What that does is, if you're not ready, you're going to be caught off guard, you're going to be overwhelmed, and you don't want to be overwhelmed. You want to stay abreast of what's actually happening so you can help the kids and your colleagues get through it.
Thank you for that. That's great. I mean, just recapping on the 4 barriers, we've got old ideas, cognitive bias, workload, and knowledge. All of this is in the book Happy School 365 and can also be found on ways to overcome barriers in happyschool365.co.uk. Get on board and get those 21 videos. Jackson, it's been an absolute delight again. The Happy School Show, bringing so much knowledge and making everybody feel that a happy school is possible. The dream is that every child should go to bed fulfilled and wake up happy, right?
Yeah. That's it. We want a happier world, creating a world where young people wake up happy and go to bed fulfilled. And we can't achieve that if our teachers aren't happy. They are the ones who are going to make this happen. And listen, a happy world starts with a happy school, and a happy school cannot exist without happy teachers. We need happy teachers ASAP. The happier the teacher is, the more we can get done. So that's what it's all about.
Yeah. Okay. So there's lots more happy school shows to come this week. Tomorrow, I won't be here, but the lovely Camilla will be here taking you through the Happy School Show. From myself and Jackson, of course, thank you so much for joining us. Remember, if you want to win yourself a signed copy of Happy School 365, then all you need to do is make sure that you are following Action Jackson on Twitter and the Fix Up team as well. That is the book right there, a lovely shade of pink. Everybody will see you reading that on the bus or in the cafe.
On the train.
And they will want to know, what are you reading? Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Jackson. We'll see you again tomorrow night at the same time, live here on Twitter, 8 p.m. for the Happy School Show. My name's David. Have a good night.